Baltimore County delegation has, and by the way, we're going live now. We're a little slow on that one. We'll figure things out as they becomes more necessary. One of the nice things about the delegation this year is that there are fewer delegates. That's not necessarily the nice thing, but the very nice thing is that all of us have districts that are entirely contained within Baltimore County. Our focus will be pure. We will not be distracted. And I'm really excited about that. So let's move forward. I want to introduce someone who's on screen here, Tatiana Hill. If you can find her, she's somewhere in that in your matrix there. She is our counsel. We will be giving out a sheet. We're going to put up some of the rules and I'm going to go over them, but we'll be mailing it to you afterwards. And we will have her contact information there. Please don't wear her down. But at the same time, if you have a county bill that needs amending or you need some clarification on it, I know she'll be available to help you out with that. And Tatiana, do you have anything you would like to say?
I just wanted to say, introduce myself to everyone. I'm delegation counsel for this session. I look forward to working with all of you. And thank you all for your patience with me, and hopefully it will be a great session.
We'd like to thank you in advance for your patience with us, and welcome aboard. Okay, because you'll need a little, I'm sure, especially if it's me calling you. Adding that, we met at 9 o'clock this morning. In the past, I've had chairs who've moved the time around. I will allow for some discussion on this, but my general feeling is we should always say we're going to start at 9. And if we have a short meeting, then you'll have a little time to get a little work done before session. If we have a particularly full slate, I might bump it up a half an hour to 8:30, but I suspect that I will come up with agendas that will allow us to complete our work in 2 hours and get to session on time. There are some rules and procedures. Justin, if you could put those up on screen. And as I say, we'll be mailing these to you afterwards. There's nothing revolutionary in them, but I will run through them. I'm not going to read them to you, but I'm going to talk about what you see on them there. You can see that. I'd like it if you'd arrive on time. The agenda will come out probably a little earlier than yesterday's did because we started on Wednesday, so we were reeling a little, getting ourselves in order, but you will have those available. We will take attendance. It's important that you be at every meeting. It's part of your responsibility as a delegate to be part of the Baltimore County delegation and be present. If you can't make it, we'd like to know in advance so that we don't have to so that we can mark you absent rather than excused, and so that we also understand who will be at the meeting when we come to the meeting. With 20 members, 11 members is a quorum, so we will need 11 votes to get a bill moved favorably out of delegation and sent to committee. Amendments will only require a quorum of the people present if we're adding an amendment onto a bill. We don't generally hold votes open if you miss the meeting for you to vote later in the day. If you miss the meeting, you miss the vote. Also, please make up your mind. You have time. You know what bills are coming. We'll send an agenda. Don't ask to pass or be skipped. It's possible, depending on a lot of factors, that I may not come back to you. If you skip, you're passing on your chance to vote. We would list you as abstain in that case. I may be able to, but we'll have to check and see on that. Let's see. It's good to know if you filed bills. Of course, we can look for them in the bills as they get read across the desk. But if you're filing a bill, the sooner I know about it, the sooner the staff knows about it here, the sooner we can alert the subcommittee chairs that they're coming and try to get it moving for your bill. Justin, many of you have seen this email a bunch of times. Justin Balchunas is our delegation administrator. His email address is on here, and Tatiana's email address also. We didn't have her phone number at the time, but we'll get it for you. Tatiana, if you'd like to put your phone number up in the comment section, that way people could grab it, but we will still publish it at a later date as well. And Tatiana, just if you're looking, we do have your address right, your email address correct, I'm hoping. Okay, excellent. Scroll down a little bit there, Justin. We're going to endeavor. We're going to have some people come. We're already working on getting the county executive, the superintendent of schools, and our 2 senators to come. We've had inquiries from congressmen. I think right now we've had inquiries from Congressman Ruppersberger's office and from Congressman Mfume's office. And so we will be trying to schedule them to come and give us a briefing. If you have other suggestions, we have asked, but we would still listen to you. We're going to get to committees next. Okay. You can see on this sheet as he scrolls down a little that I have spoken with and gotten several people to indicate that they would be interested in being the chairs of the 5 subcommittees that we have. Carl Jackson for alcoholic beverages, Rick Metzger on bond initiatives, community issues would be Sheila Ruth, education will be Kathy Forbes, and public safety will be John Carden. We will also put up in just a second so you can see what subcommittee that has not been mailed to you yet, but we will mail that to you also so you can see a list of who is on which subcommittees in this case. We're not going to collect dues because right now the Speaker's office is asking us to stay virtual. I'm interested in us meeting in person if it's possible, and I'm still working at that. And at such time, we will ask you to make a contribution of dues, which is really just to buy food and a little bit of breakfast food for those meetings. But that's a standby, and we'll see what happens. At the end of the season, we often have a party for the staffs that worked so hard for us. And but we don't have to make that a dues thing. We can make that a collect at will if we never do end up meeting in person. Okay, so now we move to committee assignments. And Justin, if you would put that document up so people can see, and we're going to leave it up for a second or two. And I'm going to talk a little bit, but I'm going to let you kind of study and see where you are and take a look. We asked earlier in the week if anyone had a particular committee they'd like to serve on. We got 4 responses to that, and we were able to honor all 4 of those individuals' responses. And so they are on the committees that they had suggested they would like to be on. The rest of you were placed based on what I perceived as your abilities, but also with an eye toward geographic diversity within the subcommittees and diversity of gender and race throughout as I could. So I looked at all of those things as important factors to make sure that we have voices that we need on each subcommittee. With that, the vice chair has an idea for an initiative. The initiative has to do with some ideas, several. He wants to form an ad hoc committee. And I'm going to turn it over to the vice chair for a second without going into too much detail, because we're going to send out a mail soliciting people who might be interested in working with him. But Mr. Vice Chair, you need a moment to say hello to everyone as the vice chair and also talk about this for a second.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and good morning, fellow Baltimore County delegates. Thank you for your support as Vice Chair. I'm really excited about this position. Look forward to working very closely with the chair to make sure that everyone is successful with regards to their bills. So as the chair did say, I had spoken to him about creating an ad hoc committee for special projects. And we're going to focus on trying to bring the delegation into the 21st century. The three projects that I would like this committee to work on this year is creating a website, also to boost our social media presence, and lastly, to begin the planning and possible coordination with the Baltimore County administration for a delegation night in Baltimore County for the entire county. So I'm really excited about this subcommittee. I will be chairing that committee, and an email will go out later on. Mr. Chair, will that be today?
Yes, sir. We have several mails locked and loaded, ready to go that we're going to send today. And that will be, it may be part of a larger mail that has, as I said, the rules that we just went over and the list of subcommittees. So yes. Okay,
thank you. And so an email will be sent out. We're looking for those who will be interested in being part of this special projects committee. We're looking for those who are going to be excited to roll their sleeves up and do the hard work to make sure we can accomplish these goals, ideally before the end of session. So please respond to the email if you're interested in being a part of the subcommittee. It will be fun and it will be the best. So just let me know if you're interested, or let the chair know if you're interested, and we'll confirm everyone that'll be a part of that subcommittee. With that, I'll pass it back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chair. Certainly appreciate that. I mentioned earlier that if you have a bill, Delegate Ruth, a question.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to ask, this is a separate subcommittee from the other subcommittees, so you can serve on both. Is that correct?
Correct. This is really not a subcommittee in as much as, because it's not going to be considering any legislation. It is, we're going to call it an ad hoc committee on ideas for greater visibility for the delegation online and a handful of other things. I don't want to give away all of the vice chair's secrets here. So he has a couple of good ideas, and who knows, there might be really good people who work with him who have other good ideas. And I think for us to have a committee that is promotional and really helps this delegation to establish a persona would be quite significant. We are the third largest county in the state of Maryland, and as such, we are a very large delegation. Also, we need to make sure that our voice is heard. Now, I want to make sure we were waiting for it to get online. Delegate Allen, I'll come to you in a second, but we are both privileged. And sometimes we have to watch ourselves. We have the Speaker of the House as part of our delegation. And you can see that she feels she's part of it. She's here today and she will be, and she'll do all the voting and everything else that everybody else does. But she is the Speaker, so I'm going to give her a minute to say hello if she doesn't mind.
Hello.
You can tell that
I am a one of Baltimore County members. So okay, so I'm here to find out what's going on. So you should treat me just as that. So when we get out there, that's different. Out on the floor, that's different. So
you can tell that I didn't warn the Speaker I was going to do that, but
no, because
she's
I'm
always
here
ready
to
on a
listen.
dime.
I had
So,
a problem getting in, and then you're gonna. So all right. Hope we will have a great year and doing some good things for the people in Baltimore County. So
thank you so much for being here today, and thank you. That the reason it's relevant is because we're talking about the promotion of our delegation. We already have a significant feather in our cap right there, but we need to, as the vice chair feels, and I agree, that we need to make sure that we're on the map all the time. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Delegate Allen, you had your hand up earlier.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick minor procedural question for those of us towards the front of the alphabet. What is the order in which the roll is called when?
No, we're just wrestling with this yesterday because I am too. I will tell you that generally I will have the vice chair vote first, and he should vote in a way that leadership feels is best. Okay, as the vice chair, it becomes incumbent. So that will give everyone a direction to go, whether or not they tend to agree with leadership in that situation. I have toyed with the idea of changing the order, but somebody said that's a little unsettling. But if you want to weigh in with me on that, we're on the floor and say I think you should, or I think you shouldn't. It's not something I have to decide at this moment. Also, Ebersol comes pretty tight up, and I also, when I'm in committee, I'm always a little nervous too about that sort of thing. So it's an excellent question. I don't have a complete answer to it yet.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Just quickly, again, we indicated that you should get your bills moving. A bill that goes through delegation has more hurdles to cross than a normal bill. It has to be introduced and you have to have it heard. So at one meeting, you will come as you would in a committee, and you will talk about your bill, and the delegation will ask you questions. And then sometime, hopefully very soon, the subcommittee will convene and move favorable or unfavorable on that bill, or possibly offer amendments to it. And then they will come back to another delegation meeting where we will move on that bill. We'll move on amendments, and they don't have to be only the ones from the subcommittee, but the subcommittee will have first right to move favorable or unfavorable. The subcommittee chair will probably do that, and also to move any amendments that they think should be added. Again, we vote on them. The subcommittee doesn't decide, they make their recommendations. But then it has to go to committee, and the committee has to take it up. Now, generally, if it's not a bill that creates a precedent, then the committee will pass it pretty quickly, or will at least pass it easily, and we'll send it to the floor. It's called local courtesy. But if, for example, we wanted a bill, and I use this as an example, and it's never been a suggestion, where we let the students of the school system vote to decide who all the school board members are, that would be precedent setting. And if we were to push a bill through like that, it would be vetted very hard in committee. And so they would take a very good look at it. If, on the other hand, we are passing a bill where we say that we're going to have one more appointed member or one fewer appointed member or something like that, that would be not precedent setting. And if we pass it, there's a very good chance that it will find its way through. But once we pass it, it then has to go over to the Senate and go through the exact same procedure. Senate has to hear it, has to vote on it, has to send it to a committee, and has to make it through the Senate floor. So bills that are local to us, I asked the other day when we met in December if anyone had stuff. No one spoke. I'm hoping that's just because everybody didn't want to play their hand. That's good news. You don't have to. But I'm hoping that if you're thinking of a local bill, whether it be Board of Ed, as examples I used, or a tax bills come through us because we are the taxing authority, but we often do that we often give the county taxing authority on things like that, community issues, and of course, bond initiatives. Bond initiatives aren't billed, but they are certainly things that need to be filled out. You need to get hustling on those if you haven't done them yet. They have a long road to go through, and I want to make sure that the bills that we like make their way. With that, I would ask you've been asked on a couple of occasions, at least one email, to click on a Google Doc, a Google Doc survey to put in some contact information for you so that we can contact you easily. Your phone numbers are great because if we're having a meeting and maybe you've forgotten about it, we text you and you get here. But all the information that you're willing to give us on how to contact you, we have a handful of responses, but not all of them yet. We'd certainly appreciate you helping us with that. I have completed what I need to do. Is there anybody else who has something to add for the good of the order? Yes. Oh, wait, you're right. Let me stop for a second. I skipped it. It's here. There are several people online that you should get to know if it's at all possible. I point out the great person who just put her hand up, Jen Iosa, and also in the same office, you'll see Amanda Carr. These are the people who are the legislative liaisons. I'm probably not using the exact word, but they actually represent county government and the county executive. At times, we will have bills, and a delegate will want to know how the county feels about it, and then we will recognize them and ask them to weigh in. They don't get automatic permission to, but we often are very, very curious how the county feels about a bill when we're working on it. And it also often helps to guide us a good deal. I also think I saw Tony Bazemore here. There he is. Tony is the legislative liaison for the school administration, and he will also weigh in. As such, there's not a specific person assigned to be a liaison for the school board, which is slightly different than the school administration, but not infrequently, we will have a school board member attend and express an opinion either on their own, or they will say that this is the opinion of the board on the whole. Now, I believe that's everybody we have. Jen, I'm going to give you a second if you want to just say hello, since you're kind of the top of the heap over there right now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jen Ayosa. I'm the director of the Office of Government Affairs here for the county executive. And along with my colleague, Amanda, and another colleague, Josh, we will be in Annapolis most of the week alongside with all of you. And we are eager to work with you however we may be able to. In the chat, I will add both my phone number and my email address, and I certainly encourage you to use it if you have a question or if there's something that we can be helpful with. Other than that, I'm really looking forward to working with all of you over the next 90 days plus. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. I will add that if you have a bill that you're unsure, that you're thinking it's a good idea, but you feel like you need to know, these people will be happy to tell you in advance if they think that it would be supported. Doesn't mean you can't offer it still, but if they say that they don't really support it, you should just know that you're putting up a bill that county government will probably wouldn't support and would feel might not be good. It's good to get their opinion if you think it's worthwhile to you. Amanda, I could let you say a word or two, even though you've been introduced. Why don't you go ahead and just say hello to everybody.
Good morning, all. I know many of you. I'm super excited to work with you in my new role. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm excited to get down there. Please reach out. Jen is, her email's in the chat. A lot of you already have my information, but feel free to reach out, and we'll be excited to meet with all of you in the next coming weeks with the county executive.
Thank you. And Tony, say hello to us, please. Introduce yourself to us.
Thank you, Chairman Ebersol. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Madam Speaker, Vice Chair Jackson, Recording Secretary Cheryl Pastor. Congratulations on your new positions, and congratulations to all the delegates in your elections. Looking forward to working with you. I work for Superintendent Earl Williams as the Director of Government Relations and Constituent Services. One of the most important things that I think that I can do is be a resource to you as far as constituent services. During the session, You will still have your constituents contacting your office and contacting you in various ways about issues in BCPS. Please feel free to contact me by cell, text, or email. I will follow up with those constituents, let them know that you had reached out to me, and we will work through those issues. So I will put my contact information in the chat, and also any legislation that you have around education. We want to be a resource and a conduit for you. So definitely looking forward to working with you, and especially the new delegates. Congratulations. I'll be visiting the offices in the next few days to speak with the staff, your staff members as well, giving them my contact information so that they can contact me if they have any constituent issues. So thank you and congratulations to everyone. Looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. And again, if you're working on some legislation and you're curious what school administration, what superintendent, school administration, what might be their take on it, Tony would certainly be willing to share that with you as a voice for the administration at the school. So you should feel free. And I call him a lot and he doesn't get mad at me about it. So I should just tell you that works fine. All right. So I think now I'm going to try one more time. That brings me to the end of the business that I wanted to talk to you about. Keep an eye out for a meeting next week. It will be contingent upon us having any bills in front of us. As of yet, we haven't found one. So we're looking around. Maybe we missed one or two, but we're certainly looking for them. All right. Mr. Vice Chair, do you have a question?
No question. I was just seeing maybe if the secretary wanted to say a few words.
Oh, well, of course. We had a little trouble getting her online. I wasn't sure she was there yet. We worked on her computer. Unmute yourself there, Madam Secretary, and greet the crew, please.
Good morning. Yes, I'm still having trouble getting online, so I want to thank you for sharing your computer with me. It certainly is a pleasure to be a part of this delegation, and I look forward to whatever I can do in the role of secretary and, more importantly, as a delegate. I have to say that so many of you have just been a pleasure and have helped me to get acclimated and settled. So I thank you because it means that we are one. Many of you have been like family, and I want to thank you. And I think that's it. But just thank you so much because this is so overwhelming, and many of you have really been great. Thank you. I look forward to working with this team.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Keep an eye on me. Make sure that I'm doing my due diligence here for sure. I will tell you, if you haven't found it yet, many of you know that the office that Delegate Pasteur and I share is room 305. It is considered a delegation office also. We even have a meeting room. So if you got something you need, let us know. We use it a good deal, but we'll be happy to share it when we can with you. Even if you don't have any specific business, stop down and say hello. I have a great view out of my window. I'll be happy to show it to you. With that, if there's no further business, if nobody else has anything they need, I would say keep your ear to the rail for a meeting next week. And thank you all for being here on time today. This meeting is adjourned.